as a brain doctor, I'm shocked this nut raises stroke risk overnight. Hello there, my friend. I'm so glad you're here with me today. You know, as we get older, we start to pay more attention to the little things: how we sleep, how we feel in the morning, what we eat before bed. And that's a good thing. Our bodies become more sensitive, and even small choices can have a big impact. Let me ask you something. Have you ever had a small snack before bed? Maybe just a handful of nuts while watching TV or reading a book. It seems harmless, even healthy. Right? I used to think the same thing. After all, we've heard for years that nuts are good for the heart and full of healthy fats. But here's something I've discovered in my years as a brain doctor, and I say this with care. Not alarm for some people. Especially those over 60, eating certain nuts at night can quietly raise the risk of stroke while we sleep. It doesn't mean nuts are bad. Not at all. But the type, the amount, and the timing matter more than we often realize. And that's exactly what I want to walk you through today. So, if you or someone you love enjoys a late-night snack, I hope you'll stay with me. This might be one of those small insights that makes a big difference. Let's take a closer look together. Number 1. Cashew nuts. Let's begin with a nut that almost everyone enjoys: cashews. They're creamy, slightly sweet, and so easy to snack on. You might even find yourself grabbing a handful without thinking, especially while watching the evening news or winding down for the night. Cashews seem harmless, even healthy. And yes, they do offer some nutritional value. But here's the part that many folks don't realize: cashews are high in both magnesium and fat, which, depending on when and how much you eat, can quietly affect your blood vessels and brain. See, when we eat cashews during the day, our body is active. Our heart is pumping. Blood is circulating, and we're able to process those nutrients more efficiently. But late at night, everything slows down. And that's when trouble can start, especially for those of us over 60. That magnesium, along with the fats, can cause blood vessels to relax just a bit too much, leading to unexpected drops or fluctuations in blood pressure. And when blood flow isn't steady, particularly to the brain, it can increase the risk of dizziness, nighttime confusion, or even something more serious, like a mini stroke. Now, I'm not saying cashews are bad, but if they become your go-to evening snack, day after day, the effect can build up over time. If you love cashews, try enjoying them earlier in the day, maybe as part of a lunch salad or a mid-morning snack. That way, your body has the energy and circulation it needs to process them safely. And cashews aren't the only ones to watch. Let's now turn to another nut-rich, buttery, and often found in holiday treats, but one that may be quietly thickening your blood as you sleep. Number 2. Pine nuts. Now let's take a look at a tiny nut that often slips under the radar: pine nuts. You've probably seen them sprinkled on salads or blended into a fancy pesto sauce. They have a rich, buttery taste that makes any meal feel a little more special. But when it comes to late-night snacking, pine nuts might not be doing your blood vessels any favors. The concern lies in their high content of omega-6 fatty acids. Now, omega-6 isn't bad in itself. Our bodies do need it. But what matters most is the balance between omega-6 and omega-3. And unfortunately, most of us are already getting too much omega-6 from processed foods, oils, and snacks, and not nearly enough omega-3 like the kind found in salmon or flaxseed. When omega-6 overwhelms the system, It can quietly promote inflammation in the blood vessels, not the kind you feel right away, but the slow, chronic kind that gradually wears down the walls of your arteries. A study in the Journal of Lipid Research found that diets high in omega-6 are linked to increased vascular inflammation, a real concern for older adults, whose arteries may already be more delicate. Think of your blood vessels like a garden hose. When it's soft and flexible, water flows freely. But when the hose gets dry, stiff, and cracked, pressure builds and it can suddenly burst. That's the quiet danger of long-term inflammation in our arteries. Now, imagine adding a late-night spike in blood pressure, maybe from stress, dehydration, or a salty snack on top of that weakened vessel wall. It creates a perfect storm for something serious, like a stroke. So what can you do? If you enjoy pine nuts, go ahead, just have them earlier in the day, and balance them with omega-3 rich foods like chia seeds, flaxseed oil, or wild-caught fish, and try not to make them part of your bedtime routine. Now, the next nut might seem completely harmless, even heart-healthy, but when eaten at the wrong time, its effects on your blood vessels may surprise you. Let's take a closer look. Number 3, hazelnuts. Now let's talk about a nut that often brings back sweet memories, hazelnuts. You might think of them in chocolate spreads, holiday cookies, or sprinkled on top of desserts. But for those trying to eat healthier, plain roasted hazelnuts have also become a go-to snack. And truthfully, hazelnuts can be a heart-friendly choice when eaten at the right time of day. But here's where we need to be mindful. If you have sensitive blood vessels or deal with unstable blood pressure, eating hazelnuts before bed could raise some quiet concerns. Hazelnuts are rich in a natural compound called arginine, an amino acid that helps the body produce nitric oxide. Nitric oxide helps our blood vessels relax and widen, improving circulation. That sounds like a good thing, right? Well, it is during the day, when we're moving around. But at night, when the body is at rest, too much vessel relaxation can create instability, especially for older adults. Imagine your blood vessels like soft pipes. If they widen too much, too quickly, especially when you're lying still, it can lead to sudden shifts in blood pressure. In some cases, it may even cause small blood vessels in the brain or eyes to weaken or rupture. A clinical review in hypertension research found that people with fragile arteries, particularly seniors, may be more at risk of these microvascular issues when exposed to high levels of vasodilating agents like arginine during nighttime rest. So, what's the safer path? If you enjoy hazelnuts, and many of us do try having them earlier in the day, maybe with breakfast or a midday snack. That way, your body can process their nutrients when your cardiovascular system is more active and stable. And if you've ever had blood pressure swings or vascular concerns, it's a good idea to speak with your doctor about what kinds of nuts and timing are best for you. Coming up next, there's one snack mix that sounds healthy and convenient, but when eaten late, it might be delivering a double blow to both your heart and your brain. Let's take a closer look. Number 4, trail mix. Now, here's something that seems like a healthy bedtime snack trail mix. A handful of nuts for protein, a few dried fruits for sweetness. What could go wrong, right? But most store-bought trail mixes aren't as innocent as they look. Many of them are packed with salt, sugar, and preservatives, and when eaten at night, that combination can quietly put pressure on your heart and blood vessels, just when your body is trying to rest. Let's start with the salt. Even a small portion can contain over 150 milligrams of sodium. That might not sound like much, but it adds up especially when we grab a few extra handfuls. Sodium causes the body to retain fluid, which increases blood volume and raises blood pressure. So instead of your heart relaxing at night, it has to pump harder. Then there's the sugar, especially from sweetened dried fruits like cranberries or banana chips. That sugar doesn't just raise your blood sugar levels, it also fuels inflammation inside your blood vessels, slowly weakening the artery walls over time. A study in Circulation found that diets high in sodium and sugar are linked to increased vascular stiffness and clot risk, a real concern for older adults, especially during sleep, when blood flow naturally slows down. Picture your bloodstream at night like a quiet country road. It's supposed to be smooth and steady, but with too much salt and sugar, that road gets clogged and sticky, making it easier for blood platelets to clump together and form clots, the very clots that can lead to stroke or heart attack. And here's the tricky part. Most trail mixes say one serving is just a small handful. But let's be honest. Who stops at one handful? It's easy to go overboard without realizing it. So what's a better option? If you enjoy trail mix, try making your own at home. Use unsalted nuts, unsweetened dried fruits, and skip the chocolate pieces or candies. And even then, enjoy it earlier in the day, when your body is awake and better equipped to handle it. Now, speaking of snacks that seem simple, next up is a nut that's likely already sitting in your pantry. It's crunchy, salty, and familiar, but if eaten after dark, it may quietly raise your stroke risk. Let's talk about it. Number 5. Salted roasted almonds. Let's now turn to one of the most popular evening snacks across American households, salted roasted almonds. They're crunchy, savory, and easy to eat by the handful, especially while watching TV or reading before bed. Almonds are often praised for their health benefits, and that's true when they're eaten at the right time and in the right way. But salted almonds at night, that's where things get tricky, especially for those of us over 60. The concern here is sodium. Most salted almonds are heavily seasoned, and even a single ounce can contain 150 to 200 milligrams of salt. That might not sound like much, but let's be honest. When was the last time we stopped at just 1 ounce? It's easy to go overboard without even realizing it. For older adults, especially those managing high blood pressure, even a modest bump in sodium before bedtime can quietly raise nighttime blood pressure. Here's how it works. Salt makes the body retain more fluid, which increases the volume of blood in your system. That extra volume pushes harder against your artery walls, and instead of relaxing at night, your heart has to work overtime. A study in the Journal of Clinical Hypertension found that even moderate sodium intake in the evening can cause noticeable spikes in blood pressure during sleep, especially in seniors. And this isn't just a matter of numbers. Nighttime pressure surges are closely tied to silent strokes and early morning heart events. Imagine your arteries like garden hoses. At night, they're meant to carry a light, gentle flow. But when you add extra sodium to the mix, it's like turning up the pressure while the hose is still and coiled. Sooner or later, something has to give. So what's the smarter choice? If you enjoy almonds, and many of us do go for the unsalted or lightly salted kind, and try to have them earlier in the day, that way, your body has time to handle the sodium load without putting your heart and brain under stress at night. And now that we've talked about the major troublemakers, there's one more snack I want to share with you. It's light, fun to eat, and often seen as a healthy handful, especially among older adults. But if you're eating it at the wrong time, it might be doing more harm than good. Number 6, pistachios. Let's talk now about a nut that many people enjoy without giving it a second thought: pistachios. They're fun to crack open, light, and often labeled as heart-healthy. It's easy to think of them as a guilt-free snack, and during the day, they often are. But late at night, that's when pistachios might quietly stir up issues for your heart and blood vessels, especially if you're over 60. Like hazelnuts, pistachios are high in arginine, a natural compound that helps your body produce nitric oxide. This causes your blood vessels to relax and widen. During the day, that can be helpful, supporting circulation, lowering pressure. But while you're sleeping, too much relaxation in the blood vessels can cause your blood pressure to dip too low, and your body may respond with a rebound increase in heart rate or pressure. That back and forth creates instability and adds quiet stress to your cardiovascular system. One study in the American Journal of Physiology found that high nitric oxide activity at night in older adults may disturb blood pressure regulation and even reduce blood flow to the brain. That's not something we feel right away, but over time, it matters. And there's more. Most pistachios sold in stores are roasted and salted, adding another layer of concern. A single serving can carry 120 milligrams of sodium or more. And as with almonds or trail mix, it's easy to snack past the safe limit without even realizing it. Think of your body at bedtime like a seesaw. You need calm, gentle balance. But pistachios, with both arginine-induced vessel changes and added sodium, can tip that balance, making your heart work harder when it should be winding down. So, what's the better way? If you enjoy pistachios, and many people do choose unsalted versions, and enjoy them earlier in the day, maybe mid-morning or with lunch. That way, your body can handle their effects while you're active and alert. And now, as we near the end of this list, there's one more nut that often slips under the radar. It has a reputation for being brain-boosting, and in some cases, that's true. But when eaten late at night, it might not be doing your brain or your heart any favors. Number 7. Walnuts. Last on our list today is a nut often praised as a superfood: walnuts. They've earned a glowing reputation for good reason. Walnuts are rich in omega-3s, antioxidants, and plant-based nutrients, all of which support brain health and heart function. Many people, especially older adults, add them to their daily routine, and that's a good thing. But here's the part we don't hear enough about when you eat walnuts matters. Walnuts are high in polyunsaturated fats, especially a plant-based omega-3 called ALA alpha-linolenic acid. During the day, ALA helps reduce inflammation and supports circulation. But at night, things change. As we sleep, our metabolism slows down. The digestive system rests. And that means fats, even healthy ones, stay in the bloodstream longer. In older adults, where fat metabolism may already be slower, this can quietly cause trouble. A study in the European Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that eating high-fat foods before bed can raise nighttime triglyceride levels, which may disrupt blood flow and gradually stiffen arteries over time. There's another layer to this. Some people experience acid reflux or indigestion when eating fatty foods like walnuts at night. That discomfort doesn't just affect your sleep, it can increase cortisol, the body's stress hormone, which in turn affects your blood pressure and heart rhythm. And let's not forget, many store-bought walnuts are salted or honey-roasted, sneaking in extra sodium and sugar. A small handful before bed might seem harmless, but if it's flavored or coated, you're adding even more burden to your heart while it's trying to rest. So, what's the best approach? Walnuts are still one of the best foods you can eat. Just enjoy them earlier in the day. Add them to your morning oatmeal or sprinkle them on a salad at lunch. That way, your body can use their nutrients while you're active, and your heart can rest peacefully at night. And now that we've walked through these 7 common snacks, let's take a moment to reflect on what we've learned and how just a few small changes in timing can make a big difference for your health. We know some of the snacks we've always trusted, especially those little bites before bed, may not be as gentle on our bodies as we thought. But don't worry, this isn't about cutting out all the foods you love. It's really just about timing and giving your body what it needs, when it needs it. Our hearts and our brains work quietly, faithfully, every day. And when night falls, they deserve to rest, not wrestle with extra salt, sugar, or heavy fats. Even a small snack, if timed right, can help your body relax. But if it's the wrong kind, or comes too late, it may quietly disturb the rest your body needs most. The good news, you don't need to change everything overnight. Just a few gentle shifts like choosing unsalted versions or eating earlier in the day can go a long way. And your body, it listens. It adapts. Over time, you may feel your sleep improving, your blood pressure evening out, your mornings becoming just a little easier. You're likely already doing a lot of things right, eating better, staying active, paying attention. This is just one more small, thoughtful step in that direction. So give yourself credit. Breathe a little deeper, and keep going one mindful choice at a time. Your heart and brain will quietly thank you for it. So now, my friend, you know the truth behind some of those harmless handfuls we often reach for at night? The nuts we've trusted: almonds, cashews, pistachios, walnuts, and more, they're not bad in themselves. But when eaten at the wrong time, in the wrong way, they may quietly work against the very organs we're trying to protect: our brain and our heart. But please hear me, this isn't about fear. It's about wisdom. About learning how your body changes with age, and how just a few gentle adjustments like choosing unsalted options, eating earlier in the day, or simply pausing before you snack can help your body rest, recover, and stay strong. You've made it to this end of this video, and that tells me something: you care about your health, about staying informed, about living not just longer, but with more clarity, peace, and control. So take what you've learned today and make it yours. Share it with someone you love. Revisit your habits not with judgment, but with kindness. And remember, sometimes a quiet change in the evening leads to a brighter morning. If this video helped you feel even a little more aware, more empowered, go ahead and subscribe. We're here for you, always, with honesty, care, and science that puts your well-being first. Take care, and may tonight and every night bring rest to your body and peace to your mind. If this helped you today, pass it on to someone you care about. Subscribe for more gentle, science-backed health guidance from a doctor who truly cares. Your brain, your heart, your health, they're worth protecting. Every choice matters. Now, before we say goodbye, there's something else I want to share, something just as important. You see, we've talked about how nighttime snacks can quietly affect the brain. But sometimes, the brain sends us warning signs too, especially in the middle of the night, and we don't always know what to look for. That's why in this next part, I'd like to gently walk you through a few silent signs of nighttime stroke signs that are often missed, but could save a life if recognized early. A stroke doesn't always come with dramatic signs. Sometimes it whispers. And when it happens during the night, the signs can be even easier to overlook. Many people wake up feeling off, maybe a little dizzy, maybe with a strange numbness in one arm, or their words come out slightly jumbled. They brush it off as grogginess or poor sleep. But in truth, these might be early signs of a silent stroke. One of the most common signs, waking up with weakness on one side of the body, even mild. If one hand feels clumsy holding a toothbrush, or one leg seems slower to move out of bed, don't ignore it. Another red flag is sudden confusion or difficulty finding words. If you find yourself stumbling for simple names or struggling to form a clear sentence after waking, it may be more than just sleepiness. Blurred vision in one eye, a lingering headache that's different from usual, or even feeling unusually off balance can also point to a nighttime event. For older adults, these symptoms are sometimes chalked up to aging, but they deserve a second look. A quick trip to the bathroom shouldn't leave you feeling like your legs forgot how to walk. If anything feels suddenly different when you wake up, don't wait. Even a mild or silent stroke can cause long-term damage if not addressed. It's always okay to ask for help, to call your doctor, or to visit the ER. When it comes to your brain, early action is the best protection.